Hey everyone, this is a training on work efficiency in work. Now, the reality is that we are on an hourly model where everybody here, almost everybody, is paid hourly. And the reality is that the hourly model has a problem, which is that it doesn't give you incentives to work efficiently. If you're clocking in hourly, then you get paid by time, not on output. And that does not give you sufficient incentives to work efficiently, which means to work effectively and at high performance. So we have a performance culture, and so what is important for each of you to know is that even though most of you are paid hourly, we really do value efficiency, and you will get rewarded for high efficiency and penalized for low efficiency. And that means that we're also going to put in place some guidelines so that you can general guidelines for the work that you do, so that you can become more efficient. In the long term, the people who will succeed in this organization are those who are creating more value than they are getting paid, meaning that they're creating more value for the organization than their cost. That's how we. Those are successful employees and students, and the ones that are creating less are the ones that are not that valuable. So for which that's not true. So I want to provide some basic guidelines. Now, these guidelines are simply saying that just because you are paid hourly doesn't mean that you can work slowly, or that you can work really at a leisurely pace. Because, again, we do prioritize efficiency and productivity, which is, how much output you're producing for the amount of input that you put in. Second is, the second point I want to make is that we are an AI-first organization, and that means that you should always try all of your tasks with AI first. Because most ChatGPT, Gemini, these tools can get you 90% of the way there very quickly. And you just need to fill in the blanks and fill in the few pieces that it can't do. So you would be surprised how far you can get with AI. I want you to always try to use AI first. Never start doing any task, whether that's research or coding or anything, by just doing it manually. Those days are gone. We are now operating under an AI world. So you really need to go first to AI. One of the tests of your productivity is that if an AI can do most of your job very quickly and you're not using AI, then you're going to be very slow. And so if you're really slow and manual, then you're going to receive penalties, and ultimately you're going to lose your position, because we just are not going to, we have scarce resources, and we're going to allocate those to the greatest benefit and the most output. So those are the high-level principles. Let me put on some specific guardrails and criteria. So we have different teams on this that are getting this training. Generally for research jobs, when you are looking up some research, I think you should do these in 2-hour blocks max. So 2 hour is sort of the time limit. Where you should do the best you can, and if you don't hear that there's a time cap limit on how much time to spend, then you should stop at 2 hours and submit what you have after 2 hours. If you sometimes I will give a specific target, and I'll say 1 hour max or 30 minutes, and that means that you have to do the job within that time. I understand that you may think that you may not be able to do the perfect job, but we're not looking for perfection. We're looking for content, and a lot of times, you could spend more time, but that would just dilute you would just spend more time gathering information or working on kind of polishing the text or polishing the document rather than generating new ideas. So the time limits are there to keep you efficient and keep you focused. So if you don't hear a timeline, I would say you can assume 2 hours, and then if we want more, then if I want more work, then I will request more after that. But 2 hours is the benchmark. Okay. Next is I'd like you to it has to do with managing all your work. all of you will receive audio files of different levels, usually urgent, high, or low. It is very important that you work on you work in the order of priority. So that means urgent beats high, beats low. If you are found working on a project out of order, you will get some penalties for that, like red flags. So a classic problem is that someone might be working on a low audio file and they really get engrossed in that job and they miss their work logger. They don't notice that there's an urgent audio file. So that's a problem because you're working out of priority. So you need to work in the order of priority that you have that's given to you. Okay, so what I will often do is I will give sometimes in the beginning of the week, maybe I'll give some low priority jobs with a deadline. Say on Monday, that deadline on Thursday. That does not really mean that you should just wait until Wednesday to do that. You can do those jobs anytime. I'm kind of creating some space in the schedule so that if there is a high priority job that comes in on Wednesday, you'll still be able to meet that deadline. Just because, so don't expect to get an extension on an audio file just because you're not able to manage the deadlines. That is your responsibility. You need to keep track of your audios as well as all the deadlines, and you need to do this so that we can so that you can manage the workflow yourself. Okay, we're not here to babysit you. You're here. You're all adults, and you can all manage all of this workflow yourself. Okay, so anyway, so I wanted to, and then the last thing I'll say is that if you are using extra tools or innovation in your work that's making you more efficient, you should feel free to disclose that in your messages, your work logger messages, because then you may get green flags. So I give green flags based on innovation. So maybe you've discovered some new online tool to perform some task that we didn't know about, and if it's able to do that, then mention that in your message so that you can get a green flag. So the more you disclose, the more likely you are to get a green flag. Okay, great. Thanks so much, and thanks for all your help.